Good evening and welcome to Live at 5. I'm Sierra McQueen.
And I'm Jay Gatsby. And folks, we're excited. It's Halloween.
It is Halloween.
Got a lot to talk about tonight. First off, before we get started, I want to say a special congratulations to the Richmond Senior High School Marching Band. In their competition this past weekend, they finished #1 in literally every category.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Want to wish them much success as they continue the year, and a big congratulations. And also, this Friday night, the big game, and it couldn't be bigger. The stakes couldn't be bigger. Scotland is going to be hosting Richmond Senior High, the Raiders. Ticket pre-sales going on right now. You can get your tickets at Family Pharmacy, Medical Center Pharmacy, and also Mabry's Pharmacy, and that's in Hamlet, yes?
It is,
yeah,
right
so
there on Main Street.
2 places in Rockingham and a place in Hamlet. Family Pharmacy, Medical Center Pharmacy, and Mabry's Pharmacy. Get your tickets ahead of time, because not only is this a big rivalry game, it is for the SAC Conference title.
Yes.
So that's a big deal. Winner is going to be champion.
Yeah, so since you're new to Richmond County, this is a must to do on your Richmond County bucket list.
Absolutely.
Sure. Even though it's out of town, I mean, you gotta be bold and go up in there with your green and gold on to Scotland. I've done it, and a few years ago we almost lost. We came back and win. I swear my uncle was about to have a heart attack at that game. So it's like, that's Raider magic, y'all.
Well, excited about it, and I'll be there, and I know most of Richmond County hopefully will be there this upcoming Friday night.
Gotta say happy Halloween, Richmond County. Right now, downtown spectacular going on, and trunk or treat at 6 o'clock this evening.
So lots to talk about, folks. Let's get right to it on this Halloween edition of Live at 5. Now for tonight's top story. In his weekly column, Robert Pittenger, the Republican congressman of the 9th District of North Carolina, announced that last week he introduced the No Abortion Bonds Act, a bipartisan bill that will end taxpayer-subsidized and tax-exempt bonds for abortion providers. In the column, he stated that the 1976 Hyde Amendment forbids the use of federal funds to pay for abortion. However, he noted, quote, "A loophole in the tax code allows abortion providers to utilize special tax-exempt bonds to finance construction of abortion clinics. The tax break lowers the cost of the bond, which is ultimately backed by American taxpayers," end quote. The No Abortion Bonds Act will include exemptions for facilities that only perform abortions in cases of rape, incest, or danger to the life of the mother. And the act includes a common sense exemption for hospitals. Congressman Pittenger will be running for re-election in 2018 as the incumbent candidate and will be challenged in the primary by Dr. Mark Harris. On the other side of the aisle and running in the 2018 Democratic primary, Christian Cano will square off against Dan McCready and Maria Collins Warren. The winner of both primaries will run against one another in the November general election.
At 1:05 p.m. Tuesday afternoon, emergency crews were dispatched to a 2-vehicle accident at the intersection of Mill Road and 4th Street, Aleo, near the once Aleo Sandhurst plant in East Rockingham. On arrival of the scene, responders found that a red pickup truck and a white passenger van had collided. One occupant obtained injuries serious enough to be transported to the hospital. The patient was transported to First Health Richmond by First Health Richmond EMS. The accident is being further investigated by the Highway Patrol.
As is true with most, if indeed not all, of our Americanized versions of holidays, our celebration of Halloween is a direct manifestation of practices rooted in ancient European traditions. Chuck Craven, one of our major Richmond Observer contributors, wrote a compelling piece today on the history of Halloween and how we have come to know the modernized holiday that it is today. To read the full story, visit richmondobserver.com or read the story on the RO app for iPhone and Android devices, which is free to all our readers. You will not be disappointed. Really fun story.
Arch Richmond is a nonprofit organization located in the downtown Rockingham area and is one of the biggest advocates for the arts and cultures within Richmond County. It has been celebrating the creative spirit since 1979, and the celebration continued Monday night in its first fall social fundraiser at the Bowling Alley in Rockingham. Jimmy McDonald, local photographer, explained that this is the 4th bowling fundraiser they have had, but this is the first during this time of year. The event had 7 teams signed up to play, with anywhere from 3 to 7 people on a team. At $25 per player, the fundraiser will help some of the upcoming events and exhibits coming to the Arch Richmond. Upcoming events for Arch Richmond include Jimmy McDonald photo classes on November 2nd, 9th, and 16th, and Susan Perkins Sociable Art Thankful Tree Painting on November 10th, and Veterans Day exhibit on November 11th.
So do you bowl?
I am terrible at it, but I'm okay with it.
Me too.
I've just accepted that as
I'm
my
no
part of
good.
life.
I'm no good at it. I remember when I hit triple digits for the first time. Yep,
I
it was
don't think
last
that's ever
year.
happened for me.
No, yeah, I love bowling, but it's really neat that they're doing neat things like that, out of the box thinking.
Exactly.
To raise money for Arts Richmond. So, folks, going on right now is Downtown Spooktacular in downtown Rockingham. In fact, right in front of the Observer studio, they're giving out candy to the kids right now,
Yes.
and a number of other businesses are doing the same. So that's going on right now, and of course at 6 o'clock tonight, Trunk or Treat will be going on. It's the 12th annual that the City of Rockingham
Wow,
put on.
that's awesome.
Yep, so that'll be going on tonight as well. Lots going on in this Halloween edition. Coming up next, Sierra McQueen is going to be interviewing Matt Harrelson, and then I will sit down with Russell Parker right after that to talk about college football and NASCAR. It's all coming up right after this.
At Richmond Community College, we can prepare you for a high-skill, high-paying career in a variety of fields. From business to education, engineering, utilities, healthcare, criminal justice, information technology, and human services. At Richmond Community College, we can save you thousands of dollars on tuition through our university transfer programs that provide a seamless transition to universities and colleges throughout North Carolina. At Richmond Community College, we are always developing new courses and programs in response to the communities we serve. We offer day, evening, and online courses, and you can now complete 5 curriculum programs entirely online. At Richmond Community College, we believe in helping you prepare for a better life. Richmond Community College. Local college, big impact.
With hospice, you guys just outdo yourselves every day. And I really appreciate it. I honest to God don't know what I would do if it weren't for you. The things that you do, I'm in approval of. And thank you. I don't know what else to say other than thank you.
Welcome back to Live at 5. I'm being joined by Matt Harrelson. Thank you for coming in today.
My pleasure.
And you have an event going on this weekend. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, we do. I'm part of a group called the Sandhills Ringers and Sandhills Singers. And it's kind of exactly like it sounds, although if you don't know what handbells are, that's what we do. We ring handbells. It's kind of a musical instrument that I grew up playing in the church, but this is actually a community group made up of people
awesome.
from all across the county, as well as the singers too. We have a concert coming up this weekend, like you said, on Sunday. It'll be at 4 o'clock at First Baptist Church, downtown Rockingham, right down the road on 201 North Randolph Street. And just as an example of a couple of songs we're going to be playing is Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. We're actually doing a Lion King medley, which is always
that's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, we always do a Disney a theme each year. And included with that, we're going to have percussion, drums, maracas, and then we'll also have some other songs that will include organ, we'll have piano, and we'll also have some children that'll be singing with us, and they'll be involved with the Lion King song as well. So we like to get involved with every age group. We like to dress up and have fun. So
that's
it's
awesome.
going to be a great concert, and hopefully everybody will be able to come out and join us.
Now, is there any cost to attend this on Sunday?
It is absolutely free to everybody.
Wonderful. And one more time, location and what time on Sunday?
It is Sunday, November 5th at 4 o'clock in downtown Rockingham at First Baptist Church at 201 North Randolph Street.
Awesome. We hope to see you there, and we'll be right back after these messages.
I'm Kelly. I worked at Champion Ford for 2 years.
6 years.
3 years.
1 year.
I've been at Champion Fort for 13 years.
1 whole year. 15 years. I'm Jamie and I've been at Champion Ford for 12 years.
I've been here 8 years.
Champion prices, champion service, champion experience.
Get treated like a champion today at Champion Ford. Just down the road from our prices, championfordlincoln.com.
We are Champion Ford.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is all about rustic home decor and gifts. You will always find a variety of unique antiques, vintage, and new items in our shop. Come and see our selection of housewarming, new baby, and wedding gifts. For the man in your life, we have many collectibles, Boker knives, and leather. And ladies love the jewelry, purses, candles, hats, and t-shirts. We also offer a 30-day layaway program. Come and experience shopping at Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts.
And welcome back to Live at 5. And of course, it is time for Tuesday's tradition. Russell Parker in the house. And of course, Russell will be a part of the RO Sports Show, which is coming soon.
Yeah.
Excited to have you. So I'd like to also point out that Russell said I looked a little wider today than I usually do.
I'm broader.
I'm like, well, that's great. Broader, he said. And he turned it into a compliment. Smooth transition. That's why he's our executive producer. So let's get right to it. I'm excited to be back on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you
because
on.
I've missed this segment.
I requested you to be on here today so you can see my new tie, my new shirt.
Yeah, Alabama. See, nobody really cares about Alabama, but Russell does. No, let's talk seriously. Let's talk about NASCAR. And of course, this past week, your favorite racer, Kyle Busch, got the job done.
I don't know about favorite, but he definitely got the job done
In Martinsville.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us about how does that position him in the standings? I mean, he's kind of moving up.
Yeah, he's automatic. After that win, he automatically moves into the championship for at Homestead, so he'll be definitely competing for the championship this year. And 3 more spots are left, and there's 2 more races in this round, so there's 2 spots open if we got different winners, and someone's going to drive in on points.
That's fantastic. Yeah, somebody is. And of course, the next race coming up this Sunday at 2 p.m. Texas.
It'll be Texas Motor Speedway Sunday, and Xfinity is going to be there as well as Truck. Saturday will be the Xfinity race at 8:30, night race. Truck Friday night, 8 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Going to be a lot going on this weekend. And of course, who are you picking right now to win it all?
You know, to win it all, I'm still going to go with Truex. But I'm hoping, I'm using my heart here when I'm saying this, but I really hope that Ryan Blaney makes it into Championship 4. And I like to see him win. I like to see him get another win for the Woodbury team because they're 99 wins overall in their career. And if Ryan Blaney got 100th win, I would love to see that happen. But I'm actually going to pick Truex to win this race coming up.
Oh, coming up, too. Yeah, that would certainly position him well in Championship 4. Yeah.
Definitely.
So we'll see what happens there. And now let's get right down to college football.
Yes.
So let's point out on the screen here that Russell was correct on all 5 picks last week.
I
How does
can
it feel?
still say I'm an expert. Because before,
well, I
before
wouldn't
I'm
be
getting
able
deep.
to. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that NC State Notre Dame game. What do you think?
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'm a man up here, you know, and I'm gonna be a real Wolfpack fan and man up because we don't have a problem talking about our losses because we've truly dealt with them for many years. So let's talk about North Carolina State. Why it was 14-14 at the half.
Yeah.
The game ended 35-14
I know,
in Notre Dame's favor.
Insane.
What do you think happened?
I feel like a lot of teams are able to come back in the 4th quarter game at their home stadium, especially if it's Notre Dame. You know, Notre Dame's got a huge fan base, and they get rowdy. They can get rowdy just about anyone else in the country. And State coming into that game, and that's a really tough game. And for the fans to rally back around their team, to really get them going, I think that's got a lot to do with it. Plus, you know, Notre Dame is an exceptionally good team this year.
Yeah, well, of course, the Catholics, they just must have been praying a little bit harder than the Southern Baptists this past weekend because Notre Dame took it to them in the second half. I think Notre Dame really kind of just distinguished themselves as just a better team overall. They're better than State. State's a good team. They're better. But we'll be talking about State here in just a moment. How about Miami and the Tar Heels? Did Carolina really ever have a shot?
I thought they did lead the game going into halftime, or starting to go into halftime. Then Miami tied it back up. But you know, I said this earlier in the season that Tar Heel, or you said it earlier in the season, that Tar Heels now they just can't close out a game, and that was obvious there last week.
Ain't that a shame?
Yeah, it really is.
Well, folks, let's get to it. Russ Parker 5-0 last week in predictions, and let's talk about this week's slate of games, starting with the SEC South Carolina Gamecock team heading into Georgia, the number 2 team in the country, and looking strong. Does South Carolina really have a shot here?
No, they don't.
I didn't think so. No discussion there.
Nope.
So
Definitely going with Georgia to win that game, and I think they're probably going to. I'm gonna say they're going to shut them out. No touchdown,
wow.
no field goal.
Wow. I don't know if it'll be a shutout, but it's going. It might be. Yeah, it might be. South Carolina's a better team than Florida in my mind, and teams like that Georgia have played. And I think that South Carolina, they come in, they look strong at first, kind of like a Notre Dame State game. Georgia's going to run off.
Yeah.
Georgia wins the
I
game.
will say is I will take that back though, because I do think South Carolina is a decent team. They play better than they have in the past few years, but I don't think they're going to stand a chance against Georgia at all.
No, I don't think so either. Georgia and Alabama on a collision course to the SEC title game in December, I do believe. Clemson and North Carolina State. Clemson ranked number 6 in the country. NC State falls to number 20. Not a big fall for the Wolfpack because they lost to a great team, Notre Dame. But State going to be hosting a big team this time around rather than heading there. It'd be a different. If you remember last year, NC State went into Death Valley and with a missed field goal into the game had to go to overtime. Clemson ended up winning. But does the Wolfpack stand a shot this week against Clemson?
I do not think State's going to get it done against Clemson. And Clemson is still a strong team. And obviously being number 6 in the country right now with AP showing that they still believe that they're good. And I still believe that Clemson can do good. I think they just had a lot of bad luck in their game with Syracuse. They didn't have their starting quarterback then. So Clemson's, they're going to want to push and really show the College Football Playoff Committee, which they're announcing their rankings
Next
tonight.
week. Oh, tonight.
Yes,
tonight. Okay, wow. Yeah, it starts
and
now.
I think Clemson's wanting to show to them that, hey, we are still contenders for the championship.
Well, I am going to disagree with you. And I'm not going with my heart here, folks. I'm going with my head, too. I think NC State is still a great team. I think Notre Dame is better than they looked and even better than they're ranked. I've got the Wolfpack at home, a close one.
Oh, I think it'll be close too. We can agree on that.
It's going to be a close game, yeah. So we'll see which one of us is right next Tuesday. One of us will be. Virginia Tech heading down to South Florida to take on Miami in a matchup that'll pit the number 9 Hurricanes against the number 13 Hokies. Who do you got winning this game? That's a big game.
Oh, definitely. I'm picking Miami to win this game. They have been on a hot streak. They're 8-0 in the season right now, and I think they're going to continue that all the way.
Hokies get the job done on the road this week. I'm going off the way they both played Duke. And Virginia Tech, Duke really never stood a shot in the Virginia Tech game in Blacksburg. Of course, Miami went to Durham, but Durham's not exactly a hotbed for football, environments. So I'm gonna go opposite you here, and really only for that purpose. I'm gonna say the Hokies get it done. So we'll see who's right there. Oklahoma heading into Bedlam. Take on Oklahoma State.
In-state rivalry time.
In-state rivalry. I love this time of year.
Yes.
You start to see those big rivalries.
All of them big rivalries.
So 2 great teams here.
Yes.
Do the Sooners get it done against the Cowboys?
I'm going to go with Oklahoma on this one. They've, from every time since I've been watching college football, they've always had a strong team. Oklahoma State has too, but I really think Oklahoma is just, they're going to have this, and they're going to definitely get it done, but it's going to be very tough for them because they're going to Oklahoma State's home turf.
This is going to be a lot of fun, folks. Next week, I can't wait till Tuesday. I'm going to have to be on that episode. I'm going with the Cowboys of Oklahoma State to get the job done at home. We've only agreed on one game so far. Yeah.
Well, I hope we agree on the next one.
Well, we'll find out, folks. and of course, Russell would save this for last. LSU, the Tigers, headed into Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama, the Crimson Tide. Does LSU, who lost to Troy earlier in the season at home, do they get the job done on the road?
Oh, I think saying that, I think Troy does have a strong football team overall. They have grown a lot. But back to the LSU and Alabama game. LSU, this game has always had, this is the first football game I ever watched when I got into college football. It was number 1 LSU versus number 2 Alabama. That was 2011. So this game has always got a special place in my heart when it comes around. But I don't think LSU stands a chance. against
Well, I'll
Alabama.
tell you, Russell, this game,
With all due respect
this
to the
game
Tigers.
is going to have a real special place in your heart. Because just like you didn't forget that first one, you won't forget it when the Tigers beat Alabama this Saturday in Tuscaloosa. I'm telling you, folks, Tigers going to pull the upset
Not a
this week.
chance.
I'm going to pull Lee Corso.
Roll
Where's my
Tide.
Tiger hat? Look, this is going to be really neat to watch next
This is
Tuesday.
going to be fun.
And honestly, I think you probably have made the better picks. But I figured, what the heck, it's close enough that wouldn't be nonsensical to go. The only bad pick I may have picked was LSU over Alabama. But I'm going with it.
All right.
So we'll see. One of us is going to have a great record next week.
Oh, yeah.
One of us is not, guaranteed.
But we've got another thing going on here, too. You know, with the college football playoff picks coming up tonight, I figure we could do our own picks.
For the top
Yeah, the top 6.
top 6 in the country? Okay, I'm fine to do that. Let's hear from you.
I'm definitely going to put Alabama at number 1, and I'm going to put Georgia at number 2. 3 and 4, I don't really. I'm going to say I don't really feel it with Notre Dame, and the reason why I say that for is because they're not in a conference, and I feel like they're just going to get to skip a conference game, which to me it feels like that should disqualify them for not getting it. They don't go to a conference championship, they shouldn't be competing for a national championship. That's how I
That's
feel.
a good argument, and that's one that a lot of people have a problem with the college football playoff system.
And I'm not denying that they're a bad team. They are a good team. They're a great team, but they need I feel like they need that conference championship. I won't put them in top 4. I put them 5th. But my fourth pick, I'm going to agree with what the AP poll said and have Wisconsin up there, but I'm going to put Clemson in 4th as well. And for 6th, I'll probably put Miami up there.
Yeah, and that falls in line with the fact that you believe Miami will win this upcoming Saturday. I have a different perspective. I don't think any ACC team cracks the top 6 because I got Miami losing. Now, whatever happens tonight, I'm talking about what I think are my top 6 really kind of moving forward from here.
Okay.
I think Miami's going to lose this week, as I said earlier. I've got number 1 Alabama because, honestly, I'm not sure I agree with my pick that I just made a minute ago, but we're going to see how it goes. I have number 2, Georgia. Those two teams, strong teams, and it's going to be very interesting to see what ends up happening. Will they play each other in the national title game as well as the conference?
I don't think that would happen.
It could,
It's
because
possible.
if you're number 2 team in the country, Georgia, and you lose to Alabama or vice versa in the SEC title, you have not lost to a bad team.
Right.
And can you end up in the college football playoff? I mean, you may find that Alabama's number 1 and Georgia falls at number 3 or number 4, and they might play each other in the next game.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see. I got Georgia number 2 right now. Ohio State, big win against Penn State this past week. I've got them at number 3. Notre Dame, number 4. That's not going to happen. But that's my number 4 team in the country, folks. I'm telling you, Notre Dame's a good team. Penn State, number 5, and number 6, Wisconsin. That is 3 teams out of the Big Ten in my top 6. Is the Big Ten that strong?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They have definitely gotten bigger. And SEC, some people will sit there and argue that they are falling and Big Ten's rising as well as the ACC. So, yeah, I don't disagree with them being up there, but I still think that Ohio State's too far up in the rankings there.
Yeah, well, and they are, and this won't be your top 6 tonight, but I think moving forward stands a good shot at being that. Of course, if Clemson gets the job done at NC State this week, that changes everything, but that ain't going to happen. Wolfpack win this weekend in Raleigh. Russell, always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure.
I love being on here.
Our executive producer, as well as a NASCAR and college football analyst, Russell Parker, who will be on the RO Sports Show when it makes its debut this fall. Look forward to having you back next Tuesday.
Be great to be on here again.
Folks,
Are you going to be here again?
I ain't going to miss it. I'm not going to miss this.
I'm going to have the bragging rights next week.
Somebody's going to. Somebody's going to have their head hung low next Tuesday when we do this all over again. Folks,
should we make a bet?
We had to do that off the air. The SEC might come after us, and I ain't talking about the Southeast Conference.
Yeah.
All right, folks, stay with us. When we come back, we will have more sports, and of course, we'll be talking to Kelsey Russian, our chief weather reporter. She'll be bringing us all the weather for the next 3 days, coming up right after this.
Family Pharmacy has been serving Richmond County since April 2007, and we have enjoyed getting to know our customers since then. We take our jobs very seriously, and will do whatever we can to make sure you have what you need. Come visit us on Fayetteville Road in Rockingham, and we will treat you like family.
Welcome back to Live at 5. Now for tonight's top sports story. The accolades are pouring in after the best season in Richmond Senior High School volleyball program history. After starting the season a perfect 25-0, the Lady Raiders saw their season come to an end last Tuesday following a 5-set loss to number 15 Lake Norman High School. Early this week, the Sandhills Athletic Conference announced its 2017 all-conference team, which is comprised of Richmond's Brianna Basic, Owen Bowers, Altman Griffin, Savannah Lampley, and Mackenzie Webb. All 5 players made the all-conference team in 2016. Griffin was voted top honors as the SAC's Player of the Year, while head coach Shelley Wimpy took the Coach of the Year award.
The Richmond Senior High School boys and girls cross-country teams headed to Ivy Beeson Park Saturday for 4A North Carolina High School Athletic Association Regionals race, but their seasons would ultimately draw to a close. Senior Brandon Silva, who has been the Raiders' #1 runner all season, led Richmond to a 15th place finish. Silva finished 54th overall, while junior teammate Zachariah Hamilton placed 82nd. Sophomore Joey Nicholson rounded out the Richmond top 3, 2 spots behind Hamilton in 84th place. The girls' team fared a little bit better as it managed to finish 13th overall. Sophomore Ariel Brown, who has been recently named Richmond Observer's official Richmond County Athlete of the Week, was the top finisher for the Lady Raiders, coming in 77th. Senior Shelby Matheson 78th and freshman Graceland Weatherford 80th. Also finished their season strong, and Brown was named to the All-SAC team last week.
And with that, let's now go to our chief weather reporter, Kelsey Rushing, for your 3-day weather forecast.
Thanks, Lance. As always, today's 3-day weather forecast is brought to you by McNair Auto Sales. As you can tell, it is Halloween, and we are definitely enjoying it here in the office. I'm currently trying to run away from a werewolf, but other than that, let's move on to your 3-day weather forecast. Wednesday will have a high of 75 and a low of 54, partly cloudy that evening, and Thursday will have a high of 57 and a low of 53, also partly cloudy. Friday will have a high of 81 and a low of 55, sunny, but that evening will also be clear, unlike the last 2 days. But other than that, let's go back to the news desk because I think I hear the werewolf.
And that's it for our Halloween edition of Live at 5. So let me just, I'm going to ask you, but I think I know what the audience will say. Who do you think, as a matter of fact, the crew, who's the best dressed here? What? Her? Well, maybe so. Yeah. And where'd you get your costume from?
I pieced it together from different stores. I bought this dress at a consignment store in Southern Pines, and then headpiece on eBay.
And tell us what it is. Actually, I mentioned a little bit earlier.
Daisy Buchanan.
That's right, from
The Great Gatsby.
F. Scott Fitzgerald's big hit, and of course a big movie just a few years ago. So
Leonardo DiCaprio didn't win an Oscar for that either. But
it's a shame.
big shot.
But the question is, will we win an Emmy for Live at 5?
We should.
We should. I
We're
mean,
gonna beat Kelly and Ryan. I'm just telling you right
that's
now.
right. Yep. Calling you out. Folks, that is it for tonight's edition. Join us tomorrow night for our midweek edition of Live at 5. Also, our feature Athlete of the Week segment going to come up tomorrow night. Cal Pillar, managing editor for the Richmond Observer, will be in studio. I am Lance Jenkins.
I'm Sierra McQueen.
And we will see you tomorrow night for another edition of Live at 5. And remember, you can always watch Live at 5 on demand on the RO app for iPhone and Android. So long.